Hey everybody, TGIF. Happy Friday. We had a great time talking this morning at Good Morning Royals. A little too good of a time because we didn't get out of there in time. We were just running our mouths. But you know, we like to do that sometimes. Sometimes it's good to just visit together and have a good time and not worry about the clock so much. So I'm glad that you all made it back in here yet again so that we can have a little more time as family and chill and do our thing. All right. So I'm so glad to see everybody here. Give me just a second. First of all, if y'all have already hit that like button, I want to thank you in advance. If you haven't hit it yet, please come on and hit that bad boy if you would. Okay. Also, want to thank you so much for being here. If you're somebody who's not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you want to join channel membership, the link is in the description box below the video. So I'll be so happy if y'all can slide on in here and let's get in, get a good little chat on and try to get y'all out of here at a decent time frame. I don't want to keep you too long if I can help it, but I want us to have a talk. So I know y'all saw the title, and I'm always coming up with something crazy. I just like to say silly things because, you know, I'm silly and I like to have fun. Hey, Dora Rodriguez, I'm glad you made it. So listen, y'all saw the title, right? Grateful, Grudgeful, or Grinchy. Grateful, Grudgeful, or Grinchy. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to see where we fall. So we're going to see if we fall in one area, but got a couple of sprinklings of another two areas or one of the other areas in there. Or hopefully ain't none of us grudgeful or grinchy. But even if we don't fall into those categories, we may know a few people who do. So that's why we're going to have this chat. And I think the chats are fun because even if it doesn't apply to you, it may apply to somebody you know and maybe somebody you care about. You might be able to tell them something to help them or encourage them so that they don't have to be grudgeful or grinchy. Know what I mean? So we're just going to get into it. Let me speak to everybody. Let me greet everybody in the room before I start running my mouth. Anyone else who's not here yet, hopefully they'll start to funnel on in and then they can just join in on the conversation while it's in progress. Kia Coco Pop, how are you? That's right. We're going to rebuke anything weird and strange and unbecoming today. Like that when they showed up this morning, that was a little different. Okay. Hey, Vita from Denver. Angie, all the way from Miami. Are you still on the plantation or did they let you go? Auntie Eva, how you doing? Deandra, hey, girl. Delicia, good to see you. And there's my Christian Key. How are you? Miss Sparkle, good to see you. Love my dogs too, girl. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Tina, the queen of cheesecakes, is here. You still working on that peach cobbler cheesecake? I want you to put your mind to it, girl. Put your mind to it. Hey, Queena, Queen Mermaid, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. A lady 747. All right. Wani, I'm gonna be done mess around and gave you that because I need your crown back. Spiller, how you doing? Lita, hey girl. Marva, good to see you. All right. Miss Reed, how you doing? CC Miller, hey lady, how you doing? She says, hey again. Hey again to you too. DT, you're here. Yes. Don't forget to like the video as you walk in. Yes, before you even take your shoes off, just go and hit the like button. Help your sister out. Sandra Richardson, how you doing? S. Collins, hey there. Happy to be happy. How are you? Michelle Davis, sister, how you doing? I'm glad you made it here today. Glennis, you said you was listening while you was in pain management today. Uggs made your day. Girl, Uggs almost made me scream today. I couldn't deal with her. Dora, hey lady. JC, you made it. Oh, that's so awesome. Gratitude. That's right. Love it. Egypt now, honey. Here she is. We just celebrated her birthday and she's still looking 21. Lala Chanel, how you doing? Okay, Linda Ford, as I live and breathe. I'm so glad you made it in. We don't see you much anymore. I guess your schedule changed up on you. All right. Well, we glad you made it here today. We happy to see you. So can we talk about it, y'all? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Hey, Jesse X. All right. Dana Cutler. Hey there. You listening from work? All right, my sister Susan is here. Hey. Okay. So listen, the crew is here. Other people will come in. Y'all know what I always ask you. When people come in, if you don't see me greet them, it's probably because I missed them. Because y'all know I try to greet people as they come in. Even if I don't stop and, do a whole greeting, I'm at least going to say, hey. So if I don't catch them and you see them come in the room and I don't catch them and get a chance to greet them, y'all please greet them for me. Let's make sure that everyone who comes in feels welcome. We don't want anybody to show up and not feel welcome. That is so important, okay? All right, ladies. I hope that's not too much to ask. It's such a beautiful set of sisters here. And I know we got lots of love and warmth and hospitality in us. So y'all please help me out when it comes to that. Because yes, Queen Mermaid is in charge of hospitality. But everybody has a part to play in making sure that folks feel welcome here. That is very, very important. Okay? That's if y'all don't mind. All right, so our little visitor from this morning is not here, so we can have a good talk. Uggs has been put down. And no, I didn't kill her, so don't ask me. We just put her in her little play area. She's got to go. All right, you busy at work, Linda Ford. Cool. But I'm glad you made it in. So what we're talking about, y'all saw the title again, is Grateful, Grudgeful, or Grinchy. Now, I think we got an idea about grateful and grudgeful, but here lately, I like to work backwards. So we're going to work backwards. The first one I want to touch on is Grinchy. Them Grinchy folks, they just plain miserable. They're just like not the cartoon. Well, it started off as a cartoon, but the children's movie, The Grinch. Just downright miserable. And they spread it everywhere they go. They can't even stand to see other people happy. I hope that absolutely no one in here is Grinchy. We are coming up for the holiday season. I know that wonderful green would match the Christmas motif, but let us not be Grinchy if you don't mind. Okay, so hopefully none of us are Grinchy. I'm sure you may know a Grinch or two, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on Grinchy. I just threw it in there because it was fun. Okay, that's right. Don't forget your notepads as we start the chat. Hey, protect my energy. That's right. Misery loves company. It's true. A whole lot of folks that yeah, DT is in New Zealand. He's in New Zealand. Yeah, a lot of them, they are miserable and they like to spread it around. They want to make sure they infect as many people as possible. So I think we're safe in assuming that there are no Grinches in the royal family. I would like to think so. I don't believe any of our sisters here are Grinchy and miserable and mean and horrible, or that they're taking presents at Christmas. Any of that, right? What you say, Tina? I'm only Grinchy when somebody wakes me up. Girl, you better stop being Grinchy on wake up. Do you realize it's a blessing to wake up? If they wake you up, just say, oh, well, put a smile on. Let's make a habit of not even being Grinchy in the morning. Let's not be Grinches ever. It's not good at all. So let's not do it. Let's fight that. Okay? That's right. Protect my energy. Tell her that's more grouchy than Grinchy. Yeah, you're just a little grouchy in the morning. I know there's no way Tina's a Grinch. Tina's too happy and positive. But let's talk about the grudgeful. Let's talk about the grudgeful. Now, the grudgeful is like that movie, The Grudge. It's scary. Those folks are scary. When you have a spirit that is grudgeful, it's not just that you're holding something against one person or the other. People that are just grudgeful, it's like they're holding something against the whole world. You understand what I mean? They're full of complaints. They never see good in any circumstances. I mean, they can go straight to the negative in any situation you've ever seen. Grumpy Gusses, I like that. Lala say hubby was being Grinchy yesterday. I had to tell him about it. I hope you told him about it. Let's make sure we do that. Hey, Evangelist, how you doing? Good to see you. DT says some people have actually told me being too happy and positive all the time creeps them out. I've heard that too. But you don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. That's right. Some people are grudgeful hearted. You know, we used to hear that when we were younger. The older people would use terms like grudgeful hearted. And I never understood exactly what it meant at the time. But the older we get, you know, sometimes things start to make sense that didn't make sense prior. These folks are full of complaint. They never see good in any situation, straight to the negative, straight to the problem. They never wish well for anybody. Y'all know any folks like that? I don't care what's going on. If they see somebody winning a foot race, they'll sit back and you'll hear them say things like, well, that's all right, he ain't going to win the next one. You know, you better not get too happy. You're going to lose all that money. Don't be excited because you won no money. You're going to lose. You know the people I'm talking about. You know, no matter how happy the situation is, no matter how pleasant a situation is, no matter how pleasant a circumstance or an event or anything, even relationships, they find a way to bring a dark cloud and just blanket it all over the situation. Protect My Energy says always carrying some type of vendetta about what such and such did or said. Let it go. The other person usually ain't thinking about you. It's true, that too. But they bring the wet blankets. You can go and announce that you're getting married. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell y'all something. This happened to somebody I know. Somebody I know well. She announced that she was getting married. And we were excited. We were excited and happy that our friend was getting married. Yes, Miss Sparkle, bitter and negative people. And we were all just celebrating. We were just happy and dancing and playing at her like, girl, you done found him, Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. Okay, he's tall and his money long too. We were just happy, you know, having a good time. And we noticed that this person was sitting there and she had the most sour look on her face. Right, they can find something negative in sunshine and a rainbow. And before we knew anything, we stopped and was like, girl, what's wrong with you? Why is your face tied up in knots? Did something happen? And she said, I don't know what y'all doing all that for. Ain't none of these men no good. She gonna find out. I said, oh my God. To myself, I didn't even say anything out loud, but I said, wow, this is somebody just grudgeful hearted. DT's notes, lesson, I guess is number 1. Don't be the grudgeful person that always holds grudges over everything all the time. Today, be thankful that we're alive, happy, and positive. That's right. Marvin says, see, I just can't. My mind and heart is not programmed like that. Thank you, Father, for my happy disposition. I am physically handicapped and pain loves for us to give in, and pain loves for us to give into it. Okay, very true. Michelle Davis says you only hurt yourself being grudgeful and negative. Very, very true. I like that one. Oh, negative Nancy. That's true. You call them soursop, not like the melon. Okay, but those are all good descriptions. Another thing we find with folks that are grudgeful hearted and have grudgeful spirits, they never expect, not only do they never wish well for anyone else, they also never expect anything good for themselves. Now you might ask, why is that a problem? Wait a minute, Evangelist. Press pause. You were supposed to let us know it was your anniversary. Now wait just a minute. Y'all, let's take a break from our chat. We got to celebrate 28 years of a marriage. That is not small, and we are not going to go past that like we didn't just see it. Y'all supposed to turn in these birthdays and anniversaries. Let's celebrate that. I want to see in the chat happy anniversary greetings go up. I wanted to go up and get stuck. 28 years ain't easy. Now, for those of you who are just starting out in marriage, folks like Lala, marriage on the way, you're going to find out that a lot of those days, your husband might come off as grudgeful, and it might make it hard for you to stay there in the house with him. It might even make you hard to be grateful for being married at that time. But let me tell you, through the course of a marriage, you email me when. I got to find it, but we're going to celebrate it today. But y'all going to find in a marriage, you just getting married, but you're going to find out. Some days we grateful for our husbands, and other days, you want to trip him and make him bust his chin. But it's not easy, and we don't want to take it lightly. We're not going to take it lightly at all. That 28 years they have been doing this thing together. That means they've made 28 trips around the sun together. 28 years of good and bad, 28 years of up and down, 28 years of fussing and making up, 28 years hopefully of praying together, and 28 years of hanging on in there. So y'all make sure that we put happy anniversary and we celebrate all up and through this chat. Make sure that we do that. And please, evangelists, let our brother-in-law know that we said happy anniversary to him too. This is not small, and attention must be paid. That is beautiful. And there are people who are not happy to see folks married. There are people that will sit back, you all, that the grudgeful spirited people, and they will see a marriage and they will legitimately try to find something wrong with it. I know y'all don't believe me, but they do it to celebrities all the time. And their excuses where the people is rich. So they sit back and they look at marriages and they try to pick them apart. And I bet they ain't happy. Ain't no way they happy as they pretend to be. I bet he cheating on her. I bet she cheating on him. I bet they ain't got no money. I bet they over there suffering and this and that. That's that grudgeful spirit. And we're not going to ever have that up in here. We going to celebrate when two people come together and they have sense enough to put God in the middle, and it holds on and hang on in there like Gorilla Glue on that girl's hair. Attention must be paid. That is a beautiful thing, sis. Happy anniversary to you and our brother-in-law. We pray that y'all got 28 more left in you and 28 more after that until the Lord calls one of y'all up out of here. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now back to these grudgeful-hearted folks. Now, grudgeful folks, you're not going to catch them celebrating nobody. But the last point that I was making about the makeup of a person mentally who is grudgeful-hearted. Yes, Marva, shameful and ugly. That's a very good description. Sour and bitter folks, very good description. Okay? When I say they don't expect anything good for themselves, and that's problematic, I'm going to tell you why it's problematic. I'm so glad that y'all ask all these good questions. One of the main reasons that type of attitude is problematic for the people around you, sometimes you can't even do anything good for those folks. Sometimes you can't. You want to, you try to, but even when you're doing good for them, they are looking for a way for it to be negative. She came back here and brought her sons to cut my grass. She probably wants something. Does that sound familiar? Y'all know anybody like that? There are people that because they don't expect anything good for themselves, if something good happens, they can't even celebrate themselves or their own children. It's almost like a sickness, and it starts to eat its way through these folks. So let me get y'all opinion. What type of a life do you think that people that are grudgeful-hearted live? I can tell you what I think. I think they probably end up with health problems because it can't, first of all, it's never going to have a good impact on your health that you're always negative. Never will it have a good impact on your health. DT's notes lesson number 2. Don't be like Candy Burris, oh Lord, and have 20 years of grudges. A person with a long, strong grudge will always look for a way to be negative about everything all the time. Okay, what you say, D. Marie? My sister and stepdad don't expect good for themselves or anyone else. I'm very much the opposite. It's true. Sad and miserable. But when they don't expect good, they don't want to see good happen to you, and they don't expect good for themselves, what do you think is going to end up happening with their lives? Yeah, they're definitely going to be sad and miserable. You can always look for them to have one health complaint or another. You can also look for them to be in situations where they're constantly at odds with somebody. Not that people are getting mad at them. Sometimes people can just get mad at you, and there's nothing on earth that you can do to stop folks from being angry with you. But when you find yourself mad with somebody all the time, that's another sign that you might be a grudgeful spirited person. Yes, depression, sad, lonely. Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Not your twins, mama. It ages them prematurely. Yet they live lonely and miserable lives. Very true. Hey, SFF, how you doing? Oh, Dana Cutler, girl, if you don't come from the gut with it, stagnant. You will never find growth with a person who is grudgeful spirited. Never, 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 never. SFF, how's your daddy? Let me know in the chat. I'm watching. So those are very good examples of what you may find in their everyday life situations. But let me tell you something. Got a couple of things. Y'all know I like to break stuff down so I can handle it. Okay, one thing that I want to point out, that not just their life situations, but they're going to have, habits, bad habits that lead to some of these situations. One of them is they may have the tendency, or usually will have the tendency, to speak death into their own situations as well as others. I'm going to read that one again. They're going to have the tendency to speak death into their own situations and into the situation of others. That's right. Always working to destroy other people's lives because their lives are horrible. You better say that again, DT. We know people like that. Rather than them to be positive and to bring life or positivity to any situation, they run around acting like Satan himself, stirring up dust and kicking up fuss and trying their best to bring the downfall or the demise of other people, but they tend to speak death when they open their mouths. That's right, Evangelist. Grab the clipboard, honey. They tend to open their mouths and try to speak death and destruction into the lives of others, even folks who ain't even paying them no attention. Hey, Keisha E., you listening? I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. That's right, Lala, that you won't. It's right. It's a choice. But they tend to speak death. Why is that? One of the reasons they tend to speak death in the situations is because, number one, we go back to what we said. They don't want to see nothing good happen for you. If they start seeing you get excited, the first thing they do is a knee-jerk reaction. I don't know what you happy for. You better not get happy too quick. You celebrating too soon. Ain't no such thing as too soon. Remember, we covered that during Bible study on our first module on praise. You can start to praise and be happy and to celebrate before the battle is even over. Ain't no such thing as premature celebration when you know where your faith is at. But I ain't going to go there because that's another conversation. Okay? SFL, you say you're making progress. You exhausted. He should be coming home next week, getting services set up for him. Visiting nurse, PT, and OT. All right. I'm holding up. You know I ain't going to complain. Can't do that. Like the person that gives this a thumbs down, just miserable. That's all right. At least they showed up. Maybe they heard something to help them, leader. You never know. Sometimes those grudgeful people, they show up places just to be ugly. But it's okay. Show up and be ugly. And maybe you'll hear something that just might help you. So I don't mind if they show up to be ugly. Please listen. And maybe you can stop being so ugly acting. But all we can do is cross our fingers and hope. The next behavior that we find with those with a grudgeful spirit, that's right, Tina, is they tend to discourage others and they are never encouragers. That's right. That's right. They tend to discourage others. Think about it. And they are never, ever an encourager. I don't care what you say you about to get ready to do. They can tell you 20 reasons why you can't get it done. I know somebody like that. I ain't even gonna say who it is. It's somebody close to me, and I love them too. But they do have that part of this, that part of their attitude and personality is just grudgeful hearted. I don't care what you say you about to do. You can say, I'm going to the store, I'm gonna buy 12 turkeys and pass them out to 12 people. You ain't gonna be able to do that. I ain't no way you gonna do that. How you gonna carry the turkeys? How you gonna get them in the car? Ain't your leg bad? The people don't want no turkeys. If you do that, they gonna ask you for something else. Does it sound familiar? Yes, Dana. You telling the truth now. That's another example of some grudgeful hearted behavior. DT says, I remember every graduation my sister had and I had, we always had two aunties that would always make snarky comments about us going to get an education while they'd be mad at their own children. Oh, wow. That's terrible. At their own children for not getting the education at the same time. Yeah, grudgeful hearted. They was mad at their children, so they wanted you not to do it either. Lord DT says 11 people in the bushes need to come out and like the video. Y'all come like the video. Or even if you dislike it, say something. Els Collins says, I find that nothing is ever good enough for people like that. They're never satisfied. CC Miller say just a stank attitude all the time. And see, this is the thing. When you have the right attitude, you are an encourager. When people come to you and they're telling you what they're trying to do, or you see what they're trying to accomplish, and there's something good and positive, the proper attitude is to be an encourager. Be an encourager. Y'all know who else was an encourager. So don't go saying that you want to his and your behavior don't match. We're supposed to be encouragers. But when you start talking about folks that's grudgeful spirited, they don't encourage anything unless they can get something from it or use you in some kind of way. And once they can get what they can get off of you, or you stop letting them use you, then the grudge comes out, just like that scary movie. Now, another behavior that we find from time to time with the grudgeful spirited folks is they usually find themselves in tumultuous situations with folks all the time, or they find themselves alone. That's what some of y'all was talking about earlier when you were saying how their day-to-day lives may look when they walk around with those sort of personalities and those sorts of attitudes. They find themselves at odds with everybody all the time. And if you're wondering if you got a sprinkle of the grudge in there, make sure that you're not the person that's always mad with somebody about something. Make sure that that's not who you are. Okay? We got to be careful with that. Hold on, y'all. Oops. All right, y'all. I'm back. I'm sorry. That was Mr. You know, like what the girl say on Color Purple, Mister, period. That was Mr. So I had to take that one. Okay. But yeah, be careful that you're not the one always at odds with people. Make sure that you're not constantly offended at somebody. I mean, all because there's some people, they're always offended. And it don't matter what's going on, they offended. They're gonna find a way to be offended. Grudgeful hearted. It doesn't take much. So let's make, drama all the time. Always upset. We got to make sure that that's not us. And then the other thing is that they find themselves alone. Sometimes they're alone because folks have run off because the attitude's so bad. And sometimes they're alone because they run around saying, I don't trust nobody. I don't like nobody. I don't want nobody in my space. Yeah. That's not a normal thing. That's a bad attitude. So if you find yourself displaying some grudgeful behaviors, be careful that you're not doing that. Pray about it, meditate, get by yourself, pull yourself together so that you don't engage in that sort of thing. Alita says, so true. They're always fighting with people. I had a friend like that. I had one too, and I had to let her go. Girl, it got so bad she started fighting with her own sisters. I mean, blood sisters. Same mama, same daddy. It was bad. It was so bad, y'all. And she was an Aquarius like me, but she was a February Aqua. And she was so funny that we could go anywhere. I don't care where we went. She was fighting with somebody. She was mad with the waitress. She was mad with the waiters. If we went to the movie, she mad at the person selling us the ticket. If we went to a game, she was mad at somebody sitting in the bleachers with us. And then when she finished being mad at all of them, then she get mad at people that in traffic. And then she's mad at men that didn't look at her. Then she was mad at the men that did look at her. And then after a while, she turned around and started fighting with her sisters. And then went to having problems and was mad with her mama. You ain't doing something right. And you offended at her. Make sure that we're not exhibiting any of these personality traits. It's not okay. DT's notes lesson number 3. The grudge holders will always have problems with their lives and always hope others will go through the same kind of lives or life experiences. They will always deflect. Don't be those folks. That's right. Let's not be those folks. It's not good. Now, let's talk about the folks that I like to talk about. The grateful. Oh, I can talk about the grateful folks all day long. These are the folks we want to be. SFF, you say you got family members like that, you let them fight with themselves and leave them alone. You got to. That's right. I don't want to hear that negative mess. Y'all know, much as I love you, if you bring negative stuff, sis gonna stop you at the door. I don't want to hear it. None at all. Lala, what you say? You had a friend who constantly picked fights with people and wondered why she was losing people in her life. Right. Yes. They're the same people who say, I'm real, and always think what they say is the real deal. Yeah. It really limits what they can do. Okay. Now we're on to something, but we're going to talk about the people that I like to talk about. I love this set of folks. Oh, I love people with these attitudes. These are the good attitudes. These are the desirable attitudes. We talking about the grateful, y'all. We're talking about the grateful. Now, we've covered the fact that none of us want to be Grinchy. Even though I think that was a pretty cool shade of green. We don't want to be Grinchy. We don't want to just be pure miserable and spreading it. And we don't want to be grudgeful-hearted because we walk around with the wrong attitude, complaining and negative and not wishing folks well and not being encouragers and speaking death into situations. We don't want to be that. But when we start talking about the grateful folks, what are some of the positive benefits you think from being grateful or having a grateful mindset? What are some of the benefits? I can tell you, you're going to have a positive outlook. Y'all give me some more. I promise you they're going to have better health benefits. When you're positive, your body heals better sometimes. And it also keeps your energy up. You're less likely to have depression. And you know what else? People are drawn to you. Even people that are going through things, they're so excited just to see somebody who's positive and grateful. When you're grateful, you keep a smile on your face. When you're grateful, you encourage other people. When you're grateful for what's going on with you, you want somebody else to feel that same thing that you're feeling. Yeah, you feel lighter. That's right. You feel lighter. What you say, JC? You're less critical of yourself and others. So much less critical. You know, it's hard to criticize and be celebrating at the same time. It's very difficult. How can I criticize you and celebrate you? You'll just be happy. It's easy to smile. Yes, it is. Spiller say you just feel better. Okay? Evangelist says you sleep better, happier. Yes, you get some good sleep like that. I don't care if it ain't but 2 hours. When you lay down and your heart is grateful, you're happier. You look good. That's right. Oh, you look so much better when you're grateful because you're happy. It gives you positive energy. It just radiates all over your body. That's right. A lady 747 say laughter comes easy. Not too much can knock you down. That's right. Long life. You don't age. You'll be forever 21. Happier person. You'll be easygoing. That's right. Oh, yes. Y'all got some good ones here. Nicer to yourself and others. You just have peace. Okay? Easy to recognize blessings everywhere and in everyone. That is a good one. That's a good one. Hey, Quasia. What you say? Easy to network with like-minded people. Balance blood pressure. You exude humility. And you don't have to say a word. It's so true. It is so very true. You know what else happens when you're grateful? What else happens when you're grateful? You make God happy. That's one thing, and it's worth it. But another thing that happens when you are grateful, you will find yourself seeing good, even in situations where other people think you should be crying. When you're grateful, you will find yourself shouting and dancing at times when the whole world think you ought to be crying. It's a reason they call him the peace that passes all understanding, but it starts with being grateful. It starts with being grateful. That's right. You're willing to help other people. You don't mind giving. You don't mind opening your heart up to folks. You don't mind welcoming people. And you know what else happens when you're grateful? You're less judgmental. That's right. The people who are not grateful, you're right, Susan, they don't progress. And you know what else is not, they don't progress, and they're also enemies of progress. They don't want your progress either. But when you're grateful, you want other people to progress. You can't wait to hear good news about somebody's situation. You looking for being grateful, and gratitude is almost like a drug. I'm telling you, it's worse than crack. It's worse than crack. Because once you start being grateful and you see how good it feels, you are walking around like a whole junkie looking for another excuse to start praising and thanking and celebrating and being just grateful. You look for it in everything. I don't care if you get a flat tire. When you have the right attitude and you just have an attitude of gratitude, even in that flat tire, you can find the blessing. You will manage to look up and say, you know what? I thank you, Lord, because maybe this flat tire was to stop me from meeting somebody along the road that I didn't need to run into. Maybe you was keeping me from a car accident that I didn't know was coming. So I'm grateful. See, somebody with a grudgeful spirit will see that same flat tire and that you go into the meeting. All right. They'll see the same flat tire and they'll start cussing and kicking the car. And why stuff always happening to me? I'm tired of this. I'm always going through so much. I see the bullseyes in the chat. But baby, when you got that attitude of gratitude, I don't care what happens. It will not bring you out of your atmosphere of gratefulness. Hey, DS. Nothing that happens is going to shake you so much that you're going to climb down out of that atmosphere of praise and celebration. Tina, if you don't come on with the come on, gratefulness is contagious. You better say it again. You got to be a show enough Grinchy, miserable, something other else. If you can come in the presence of somebody who is absolutely grateful and they got gratitude all over them and they got smiles all over their faces and they greet you with warmth and love, baby, you not gonna tell me one time that it doesn't make you want to smile too. Tina, that's why I told you your smile is contagious. You can walk in a room and smile and everybody in there gonna smile with you. Lala said, I learned to laugh and smile in many situations where others would cry and crumble. It's the truth. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere. You better say it. See, y'all helping me with this chat. I ain't even got to do all the talking. Hey, Cricket. It ain't nothing but the truth. It changes the atmosphere. See, we hear things and people say things and we hear them in songs and they become cliches. Oh, what the devil meant for bad, God meant for my good, but they never stop and think about what it really means. See, bad turns good real quick when you got gratitude in your heart. Bad turns to good real quick when you got gratitude in your heart. I'm telling you what I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. Dee Marie says the light always overpowers the dark. That's right, because they can't exist together. They can't exist together. I was talking with one of our sisters here. She gave me permission to say her name, so I'm going to be quiet. But we was on the phone and we were talking, and I shared with her about my sister's passing back in 2016. And so, you know, you got that moment of sadness. It's natural when I'm not going to say lose, because like I said, I know where she at. I ain't lost her. She just moved. Forwarded a mail. However, there's sadness at the passing of your loved ones because you miss them. You know what I mean? You know, we had a whole crown chat talking about and dealing with grief, right? But once we got past the sad part, grateful entered the chat. Gratitude entered the chat. And in the middle of us sitting there lamenting and grieving, because it was the time for it. Y'all know for everything, there's a time and a season and a purpose to everything under the heaven. But once we got past the sad part and we started to talk and remember and reminisce, gratitude entered the chat. And when gratitude entered the conversation, we started talking about, child, this girl had such a good spirit. She never forgot anybody's birthday. And we just went on and on, just talking about all the good things that made Sylvia Ann. And when we got through with that, then we thought about it and we said, and to crown it all, she was a child of the king. To crown it all. Y'all know why I like my crowns. See, some people like crowns just because they're pretty. You know, I'm one of those girls, I like crowns because they mean something. You know, when you start thinking about over everything else, you a child of the king. And so when we started thinking about that, we got happy because gratitude entered the conversation. And we started thanking our God because we had her for a little while. Because the people here don't belong to us. Y'all know that. You know, with their own loan from heaven. Just like we here to be a blessing to people, but we don't belong to each other like that. Not in a way of possessiveness. We are on loan from heaven. But we started to be grateful. And then we started to be celebratory that we may have had to not have her in our presence here, but we could celebrate the fact that we had her. And we could celebrate the fact that she was a child of the king and we was going to see her on that great getting up morning. So now, when you look at something that's supposed to be by anybody else's account negative, and you allow gratitude to enter the conversation, it will change. It will change the way you view it. It will change the way it affects you. You will go from tears to laughter, and it'll happen before you know it. Hey, Journey B. It's your birthday tomorrow on Saturday. All right. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Wait a minute. Not your twins, mama. Okay. Meeting postponed, message received. All right, sis. What I'm trying to tell you, I don't care what it is. Let me tell you something. Let me be all the way transparent. Y'all know sis don't hide much. I lay it all out there. As my mama say, I hang it out there like a washwoman. You can see it because ain't nobody got heaven and hell for me. You can't save nor condemn me. I put my hand into him who holds me. But I got a child right now that's misbehaving. I do. My only son. God gave me one boy, and the one boy is acting a plumb fool. And you know what I said? At first, your natural instinct is to be upset, and then gratitude entered the chat. And what Satan meant for bad, baby, that thing flipped around, and I was celebrating and shouting because I had promises that I could lean on and guarantee myself that, my God is not a God that tells lies. So I found myself cheerful and grateful. I found myself smiling again. I found myself laughing and celebrating one more time just because my mother is still in the hospital. And I could very easily be walking around just moping and pitiful. And in the middle of everything, the health challenges, I saw some beautiful things start happening. I started seeing people realizing some of the things that I've been trying to get them to see for years, and they managing to see it because of the situation that we're in with her health challenges. So even though it's something that was meant to be sad, there's good in there. There's some beautiful things taking place that would not have otherwise happened had you not had a little bit of hardship. Now, we had another crown chat prior when we were talking about those obstacles, when we were talking about those negative things that begin to happen. What I want you to understand is, I don't care how bad it looks. Understand who's in control. Understand who you are and whose you are. It's the reason why over here in the royal family, we will perch old pretty crown up on our heads, because we know who our Father is. See, there's something about it when your daddy is the King of Kings, and you happen to know that you are of royal lineage. You don't have time to dwell on the negativity that may be happening all around you. Sometimes it look like it's one thing after another, after another, after another, and you just can't figure out why all this stuff keeps happening. But I want to encourage you that if you begin to look at the situation with a whole different attitude, and you let gratitude enter the conversation, when gratitude enters the conversation, you will start to see some buts on the end of that negativity. All my money gone, but all my bills paid. All my children ain't acting right, but they all alive. I'm glad. My knee hurt, but I can still feel it. You get what I'm trying to say? You got to look for a reason instead of looking for reasons to complain. Instead of embracing the negativity, instead of embracing your justified reason, because sometimes bad things just be happening. But instead of embracing your possibly justified reason to be upset, I want you to start looking for an excuse to be grateful. Look for a reason to be grateful. If you ain't got nothing else going on right now today, you ought to be able to look through this chat and look around and be grateful that you found yourself in the company of some sisters that love you, that some of them ain't never even seen your face, but they extending and exuding love towards you. Ain't that something to be grateful for? Look for a reason to say thank you instead of why me. Look for a reason. What you say, Evangelist? Hold on. Wait a minute. You say, I fight MS every day and I feel pain, but I see it as a testimony, not a reason to complain. He's keeping you. God is, girl, you better say it. Find a reason to be grateful. God gives the biggest battles to the strongest soldiers. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. This is what I want y'all to understand. Being grateful, it don't cost you nothing, but it's got a heck of a payout. It's got a beautiful payout. Do you know you can find yourself so busy being grateful? You can find yourself so busy and so caught up in praising and celebration and dancing and singing. You can find yourself so caught up in an attitude of gratitude that you might not even notice somebody trying to hurt you. I've had it happen. I've seen it happen for other people. You so busy celebrating, somebody that came along and tried to step on your shoe or tried to knock something off your table, you done missed the whole thing. You didn't even see it. It was hidden from your view because you was caught up in your celebration. And I'm trying to encourage you all in this fashion because I can guarantee you throughout the course of the day, if you apply yourself, Smokey, you gonna find out you got way more reasons to celebrate than you do to lament. I said in the course of this day, if you sit down with your ink pen and your paper and you start to write down just from this morning, from the time you got your hips out of the bed, and you got to write down, I got my hips out of bed as the first reason to celebrate. And if you begin to just write down all the reasons you have to celebrate, all the reasons you have to be grateful and to be thankful, I can guarantee you it far outweighs whatever is on the other side of the paper as your reasons to lament or to be complaining. It's just plain better for you. It's just plain better for you. And I'm gonna tell you something. One of y'all said it earlier. You know that other way of living, it causes premature aging. You're not gonna be happy for very long. You're not gonna be happy for very long at all. You're gonna be extremely unhappy. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to walk around with a sour personality and a sour disposition. Never have anything positive to say. Never go out your way to put a smile on anybody's face. DeAndre say God allows some things to happen to get our attention, in the end to save your soul. And baby, that's a good enough reason to celebrate. He loved you enough that he didn't want you to burn. Be grateful even when the hard times, because joy comes in the morning. And sometimes it's a lesson in the middle of it. I mean, right smack dab in the middle of it. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. It's good to know. It's good to know that at least what I'm saying is making sense to somebody. I just want us to make sure that we got our heads on straight. Because even though I don't think anybody here is just grudgeful spirited, if we're not careful, we can find ourselves taking on some of those personas, some of those personality traits. We can find ourselves complaining from time to time. And I know it's true because I do it from time to time. And I have to catch myself and say, hey, hold up. That ain't what we're doing. Let me get myself back on track. And the key is not to pretend like you don't have human moments. No, the key is to be aware of it. So when it happens, you can catch yourself and say, hey, I ain't got to act like that. That's too much. It's too much. Let me stop that. Let me pull myself back. DT, what you say? You'll be as rankled as Edward James almost if you got a grudgeful spirit and a sour persona. I'm telling you, it will make you old and ugly before your time. Don't do it to yourself. What you say, if I could hear you holler, you in there hollering. Okay, tell her, Angie, we here. That's the whole point. And I just felt like when I got up this morning, I told you all, and thank you for using your mirrors and your bullseyes, Miss Rhea. I appreciate that. I told y'all this morning at Good Morning Royals, I woke up with a bee in my bonnet, as my mother would say. Just like, I don't want to just say no TGIF. Let's really be thankful this Friday. Let's be thankful that we're here. Be thankful. It's a whole lot of people started this year out with us and they're not here no more. It's a whole lot of people that was here with us last year this time and they're not here right now. Let's be thankful. Our sister came in here to help to let us celebrate 28 years of matrimony. That ain't easy. That's a reason to celebrate. It's a reason to celebrate. The fact that you got this many black women in the same place and the same doggone time, and we're able to come together, encourage each other, smile, love, be warm, be welcoming at the same time, that's something to celebrate. Something beautiful is happening. Find a reason to be grateful. Find a reason to be grateful. Why do you think I'm always on y'all on Thursday? Remember to do your random act of kindness. Put that smile out there. Why? Because that person now has a reason to be grateful. And we want to try to get away with it, because anything we do, we don't want the person to try to attach our face to it. I don't want you to be grateful to me. You don't owe me nothing. I don't care what I did for you. You don't owe me nothing. But I want you to just be grateful that something good happened that day for you. That's why I'm always on y'all, reminding you, when Thursday come, get up, do something. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you write a nice note and put it in your neighbor's mailbox and just say, hey, I don't know if you needed this or not, but I wanted to tell you that God loves you, I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Write something sweet. Tell somebody something nice. A couple of y'all was saying you carried the recycling to the trash bin for your neighbor. Little things. Do something to put a smile on somebody. See, that's the behavior of people that are grateful. It's only somebody that's walking around with a grudgeful spirit that don't have it in their heart to put a smile on somebody else. They don't have it in their heart to help nobody along the way. So we're going to make sure that if we don't talk about it again tomorrow, with me, you don't never know what I might do. Y'all know I'm real special ed in the head. You don't know what I might do. But today, we're going to remind ourselves all day long and remind the people around you to be grateful, to be positive. What am I always saying when we end out? Be positive, okay? Be productive. Get something done, but be positive. So I enjoyed our chat for today. Did y'all enjoy our chat for today? Because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed y'all's feedback. Y'all was giving me good feedback. Oh, man. Jesse, what you say? I started doing more throughout the week, just leaving blessings left and right. These chats change lives. Thank you so much. I'm glad. And thank y'all for coming here and giving your input, too. What you say, love my dogs, too. Woke up this morning singing, I'm so grateful. I'm mighty grateful. The Lord has spared me another day. That's right. We got too much to be happy about. We got too much to be happy about. Like I said, you know, if you think I'm telling you a tale, just get your ink pen and get your paper and sit down and just start writing out all the things you need to be grateful for, starting with waking up this morning. Just start there and just keep writing. If you think I'm wrong, just keep writing and see if you ever get to the end of the list. All right. So I'm just excited that we were able to have this talk. Yes, you say you enjoyed the chat today. You had to stop working. Sometimes we got to sneak and stop working. Sometimes we got to sneak a little bit. Got to get our sneak on. That's right. That's right. And keep smiling, because you know what else? It just makes you plain beautiful. We saw that during the ball. Y'all some beautiful ladies. Nobody in here should be walking around with a sour look on their face. Not as pretty as y'all are. It don't make no sense. Y'all some beautiful ladies. Ain't no reason that any of you should be walking around without a smile adorning your face. Oh, well, Dora, we glad you came on in. Your kid acting up. I'm grateful I have her and she's healthy. That's right. Ain't nobody told us they was going to act right all the time. All right, girl, ain't nothing like a good soak. Nothing like a good soak now. That's right. Thank you so much, DT. And those of you who like the video, I thank you. If you just getting in, please like the video, because I'm about to creep on up out of here. Y'all know I got to move. I got to shake and move something. I can't move fast, but I'm going to move. Okay? Listen, I might come back later. I can't promise you nothing. But I might come back later, just depending, to talk with y'all later this evening. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed you guys as always. The chat was lit as always. Y'all always got good feedback, good energy. Y'all keep my batteries charged up so I can keep running my big old mouth. I probably need to shut up while I can have a voice left, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Y'all know how that go, me and my mouth. So we'll see. This mouth of mine is touch and go, but we grateful. We just grateful. So in any event, I'm gonna try to come back later this evening, but no promises because we already covered that Queen Sugar review. Yay me, yay me, got it done. All right. So in the meanwhile, for those of you who like the video already, again, I thank you 1,000 times. Thank you. And if you haven't liked it yet, please remember to like the video on your way out. Hey, Latavia, with your beautiful self. Good to see you. Okay. Y'all make sure you hit it on the way out. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. And if you want to join channel membership, please feel free to do so. The link is in the description box below. And also, there's a join button. And just to remind you guys, we have a baby shower coming up on November 13th. And we are still collecting for the food drive. Just to drop that in your ear so you can be mindful of what's coming up on the calendar and what are we getting ready for. So in the meanwhile, I will talk to you later. I love you all. Be positive, be productive, be encouraged, and most of all, remember to encourage somebody else. And I'm going to holler at y'all later, okay? Bye now.